And for our last story for today, we turn to the escalating and unchecked use of drones in Africa's conflict zones, where strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles have resulted in significant civilian casualties. A new report published by the UK-based campaign group Drone Wars reveals that nearly 1,000 civilians have been killed and hundreds more injured in military drone attacks across Africa. At least 50 deadly strikes by African armed forces have been confirmed over the past 3 years up to November of 2024, with analysts describing a striking pattern of civilian harm with little or no accountability. Now, the report also highlights the increasing use of low-cost foreign-made drones across the continent, raising serious concerns about transparency. It also notes that most armed drones in Africa are imported from Turkiye, China and Iran. Now, experts warn that drones, which can fly remotely for hours and carry out both surveillance and airstrikes, are becoming a preferred tactic in conflicts across the region. The use of armed drones has been confirmed in at least 6 conflicts in Africa, including Sudan, Somalia, Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso and Ethiopia, where the majority of strikes have taken place. Now let's take a close look at the impact of these drone strikes that have in some cases struck markets, residential areas and hospitals. In Ethiopia, drone strikes targeting groups like the Tigray People's Liberation Front have resulted in over 490 civilian deaths across 26 attacks. In Mali, at least 64 civilians have been killed in 9 strikes conducted by the armed forces against separatist groups in the north. In neighboring Burkina Faso, researchers found that more than 100 civilians have been killed in drone strikes carried out by the country's military. Now, the report says that the misuse of the drones and the lack of regulation have led to 940 civilian deaths since November of 2021, a figure it describes as conservative. According to the findings, the following countries are currently operating armed drones in Africa. It's Rwanda, Kenya, Niger, Mali, Djibouti, Burkina Faso, Tunisia, Somalia, Togo, Chad, the DRC, Sudan, Ethiopia, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, and Nigeria. With drones becoming cheaper and more widely available, experts warn that civilian casualties could increase even further. The reports also warn that the existing international regulations have loopholes, allowing military forces to avoid transparency and accountability when using these weapons. So, as drone strikes in Africa increase, the question remains, how can these weapons be effectively regulated? And who should be held responsible for their misuse in the continent?
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million, that's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Lohon, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs. And that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.